welcome to another episode of His and Hers. She's actually let me introduce it this time. I'm Dr. Davin.
I'm Dr. Tina.
And we have the pleasure this time to talk with a certain therapist about a certain Gottman.
This will be a very interesting conversation.
Her name is Annie Lockary, and she's a therapist, like I just mentioned. And we're going to talk about something called the Gottman Method. And I bet you're going, what is the Gottman Method? Well, we're kind of the same. And we did some research, though, and it's actually pretty exciting. It's
talk therapy.
It's talk therapy, which this podcast has become somewhat of a talk therapy session, I've discovered. And so this is going to actually a little bit more regimented as far as that goes. So I'm kind of excited about it. How about you?
Yeah, I'm excited to learn more about this. I do a lot of talking with my patients all the time.
Yeah.
But this is a particular approach to relationships.
So speaking of talking, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a little bit.
Busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, going between two offices now, so that's keeping me busy.
That's right. And your second office is up in Sacramento.
Roseville.
Yeah.
Roseville area, so now able to see a lot more patients in that Sacramento, Roseville, Northern California area. So more about this Gottman Method. What are we going to learn today?
We're going to learn how to communicate, how to talk, how to build the foundations of a strong relationship. And, everything can be strengthened. And There's a lot that we need to learn. And I think the first step is admitting we have a problem.
Do we have a problem?
We're not admitting it.
No, we're not.
No.
Well, it's interesting because relationships come up all the time in my consultations with patients, especially those that go through perimenopause and menopause. And, midlife changes for women are particularly challenging when a lot of the mental health is affected, a lot of neurocognitive changes, a lot of physical changes, and when it's all of the above, it can really affect how women show up in their relationships and communicate. So,
so they're feeling bad. That's part of it, right? It's not always the reason, but definitely doesn't help the whole process.
Yeah, I think women oftentimes, when things don't feel right and they're experiencing brain fog, low energy, memory loss, insomnia, fatigue, low energy, all of that, can affect how they are in their relationships. And so I often hear how they have trouble communicating with their partners or their spouses because they don't know exactly what's going on with themselves. So
sure. I'm sure we're going to hear all about that. And this is a one way to work through it.
And then the physical nature is, or the physical part of it is that, the bodies are changing, women become less body confident, things are changing, in their genital urinary areas. And so a lot of that starts to pervade, into the physical relationships. So communication is really key because it ends up becoming very problematic for the midlife-aged woman.
So I what I'm hearing a lot, I think right now, is that it's really important to make sure that the communication is based on a lot of kind of correcting some of the physiologic issues that you may be having that are contributing to some of the issues as well.
Well, yeah, I think that, for me, when I counsel women is, obviously identifying, what's going on for them and what are the things that are bothering them most, and then realizing, how it's affecting, their relationships, their level of communication, and then exploring, what bothers them most. And then when we realize that, it's a lot of physical and mental health, then, I try to start, start talking to them about what treatment options there are for them, whether or not there's counseling that needs to be included with that, and other, things that...
It's a universal approach, kind of the whole picture, not just
holistic,
one,
right?
one
Like
scene.
the whole...
Is that what holistic is
holistic
short for?
Approach. Holistic.
Okay.
Full body.
Full body. Yeah. So let's get into it.
Yeah. So what's interesting is that when you look at the statistics of divorce, I have read that women between the ages of 40 and 49, about 30% will go through divorce.
Well, according to the Pew Research and the U.S. Census data, the divorce rate for adults 50 and older, I know you didn't include if you were 40 to 49, has roughly doubled since the 1990s.
Yeah.
So we're looking at like 1 in 4 divorces now occurs in midlife or later.
Yeah. So about 30% between the ages of 40 and 49, and after the age of 49, it goes up to almost 45%.
That's a big number.
And about 70% of women initiate divorces.
70? Women.
Well.
Well, so I think, did we discuss this before? How about the 2 happiest groups of people in the world, like they've shown, are single women and married men?
Single women and married men?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the 2 happiest groups. Are women that are single and men that are married. Not women that are married and not men that are single.
Interesting.
So.
Well, I'm sure we'll explore that with Annie.
I don't know about that, but it's just interesting. It just leads to the whole.
Well, you're married. Are you happy?
Well, so the bigger question is, you're married? Are you happy? Because you're not statistically one of the happier groups of people.
I can appreciate why that happens. Am I happy? Yes, of course I am.
Okay. I'm convinced. Thank you.
Aren't you?
Thank you. Cheers.
And again, thank you to Thatcher. Thatcher.
Yeah, always.
For the what are we drinking?
Oh, this is a Syrah.
Okay.
A Thatcher Syrah. So. Anyway, yeah. So it's a big problem.
Midlife women, they go through a lot through their perimenopausal menopausal transition, and if they find the appropriate approach or treatment and they start to feel better, there's a lot of empowerment with that. The kids are gone, they're maybe having different transitions in their professions, or now they're in charge of taking care of their elderly parents. There's a lot of empowerment that comes in.
They're empowered to take control, and they're kick the husband out of the house because he's not keeping up.
Well, I don't know if they get kicked out of the house.
I don't know.
But,
she's feeling good.
But I have
he
my observations are such that midlife women with the appropriate counseling, treatment, or all of the above, do really assert themselves differently. Annie, hi. So sorry about that. How are you?
No, that's okay.
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm Tina Sagosho. Nice to meet you. This is my husband, Davin.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for joining us on a Sunday. And we're really looking forward to this conversation. We are very brand new to this approach, the Gottman Method. And so we're looking forward to having this conversation with you to learn more about it and certainly share it with our listeners. So if you could tell us a little bit more about you and your background.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a master's and a PhD in marriage and family therapy, and I've been practicing for about 5 years. Previously, I've specialized in areas of addiction, as well as military populations, but right now I'm working with couples and individuals just at a regular outpatient practice. I have room for families, but right now all my cases are individuals and couples.
Do you, is the predominance of your practice more single or more couples?
Right now, I would say it's leaning a little bit more towards individuals, but it kind of ebbs and flows, based on the season, I guess. And even with a lot of my individuals, we end up talking about relational issues pretty often.
What about the age group? Do you have mostly elderly or midlife, younger folks?
I have a pretty good range right now. I would say the majority of my couples now are kind of 30s and 40s, but I'd say I have some couples that are younger than that, much older than that, so it really just depends.
Do you have a favorite? Like a particular, so the Gottman Method, it seems to be very specific. Is that something you have to train to do? Do you have to become qualified in that? Do you have to become certified in the Gottman Method? Is this something you learn in school, or do you have to come back later and go, this is something I'm interested in, I want to kind of go a little farther? How did you become interested in that particular method?
Yeah, great question. It depends really on your program, what models of couples therapy they teach. So my program touched on it a little bit, but it's just one of the it's really commonly talked about and used, and it's one of the only evidence-based models for couples therapy. So we didn't touch on it too much in my schooling program, but just the more I learned about it, the more curious I was about the research behind it, which I think is really interesting and something that a lot of models don't have. And to become fully certified, which I'm still in the process of, but to become fully certified, you have to do levels 1 and 2 of the training, which I've completed both, and then be supervised by a certified Gottman practitioner, and then you collect a bunch of hours, and then you can become officially certified. But to be able to practice and feel, confident in the skills and understanding of the model, just levels 1 and 2 are required.
Do you specifically use the Gottman method in your line of therapy, or do you try to immerse it with other approaches?
So with my couples, I only use the Gottman method. Each couple is a little bit different, and I try to be collaborative with each client. Each case is going to be a little bit different. So some couples really like having, homework assignments, we call them. Some couples don't like that as much. Some couples really like the deeper emotional work. Some are looking for a little bit more solution focus, but the Gottman method is the only model of therapy that I use with couples.
Got it. Um, I am an OBGYN. That is my specialty. I have
Mhm.
retired from obstetrics, and I do a lot of perimenopause and menopause care. And
Mhm.
I'm sure your midlife aged couples, maybe even specifically the women, I'm curious as to what you find are the most challenging issues that face couples, especially in midlife.
Yeah, that's a really big transition that I think, especially when you're younger, you don't think of it as like, oh, that's a big transition, like
Right.
going to college, getting married, right? But then we don't really talk about or prepare people for the many life transitions that come after that. It's interesting you brought up perimenopause, excuse me, actually, because I have a couple where the wife is going through perimenopause. And so we've been discussing a lot of the impacts of the hormonal changes that come with that and how it really impacts mental health and mood.
Right.
So I would say, yeah, empty nesting is a really, really big midlife transition, moving into retirement, kind of finding a routine. What's my identity now? What's important to me? What do we do with our time now? So I would say, especially for midlife, those are the big ones that I see.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, I find that's one of the most it's like top issues for many of my patients who come in and start talking to me about
Hmm.
perimenopause and menopause. So, yeah, I think the talk therapy, like the Gottman method, is so important to give as a tool for many of these midlife women because, like you said, the relationships are so challenged by what she's going through. Do you have anything
Hmm.
that you would add to that?
No, I'm just really excited to be talking about God. I want to, how do you initiate it? How do you start it? Someone comes to you and you go, okay, let's do this. What's the first step? I mean, how do you get these people to open up to each other? I mean, that's
Yeah.
a challenge in itself, but then to open up to you as well. I mean, it's just like, how do you start the whole conversation with a couple that comes to you and engage this method that seems to be so well renowned?
The Gottman method is simultaneously very structured and very flexible, if that makes sense. The initial structure of the assessment period, which is going to be the first few sessions that the couple comes in, is very structured and is going to look very similar every time. And then after that, that's kind of where the flexibility comes in, and each clinician can kind of use their judgment to decide what the couple needs based on their assessment, but also what the couple is specifically stating their goals are. So in that assessment, that those first sessions, the first session the couple comes in together, and there is a very, structured assessment protocol where we're just asking a lot of questions about the background of the couple, the background of each of you individually, getting, kind of the standard question of what are you looking for in therapy, why now? These sorts of questions to see, just understand where the couple is at currently. And then after that, we have one-on-one assessment sessions with each partner individually to get a little bit more background and understand a little bit deeper where each partner is at and what their specific point of view on the current issue or issues are. And then from there, that's where we make a plan as a team, the three of us, and we highlight what the couple is doing really well already so that they know what to continue, where their strengths are, what they're doing well. And then we look at the areas that could use a little bit of improvement or support, and we start from there and tailor our interventions and what tools we're going to use and introduce based on, again, what the couple is seeking and stating their goals are and what we as the clinicians see are the areas for growth.
Yeah, that's great. The assessment obviously can be challenging, just recognizing what the problems are. What's a specific tool then that's used for improving communication? What's something very specific to Gottman?
One of the tools that I use with pretty much every client, every couple, is called the Gottman-Rappaport intervention. It can also be called or referred to as the Gottman conflict blueprint, but the true name of it is called the Gottman-Rappaport intervention. And it's used for resolving an issue that a couple has talked about repeatedly, kind of circled around and not been able to resolve on their own. The main point of the tool is to postpone persuasion or problem solving until both partners have fully understood the other person's position. And we like to talk about it as moving the couple from a mode of what the hell is this to what is this?
Yeah.
So exploring with a little more curiosity and seeking to understand rather than to react or persuade.
So I think that's a great point because there's a lot of judgment, just like you had said, like what the hell is going on, as opposed to what's going on. There can be a huge
Mhm.
difference in how that's presented. So that really just struck me as very true. There's a lot of
Mhm.
baggage that come with a lot of couples, especially, we're what is our anniversary? 24 this year? I think it's 24 years in. So I would imagine that the couples that are a little bit more invested in terms of their time together, do you find that those are couples that are harder to get through this kind of counseling, through this therapy with the Gottman because they've had so much time together?
To create bad habits or
Like
like opinions and whatnot.
there's a lot of judgments. There's a lot
There's
of
no judgment here.
anyway.
I think I think it's not I haven't found that it's necessarily like a hard and fast rule about couples that have been together for a really long time are, have more baggage or are harder to kind of gain momentum with. I
Mhm.
think it's really about whether both people are invested in the process and committed to making a change and being vulnerable and sharing what's been hard for them and being ready to take accountability. So I think it's more so about both partners willing and ready to exert some effort and be a little vulnerable.
On the table.
Um, and that, sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just like both people are willing to come to the table and discuss. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it depends. I've seen really young couples or couples, maybe not necessarily young in age, but have been together a year, 2 years, 6 months. And sometimes there can be resistance there because, well, we've only been together for a year. Let's give ourselves more of a chance to see if we can figure this out on our own. So I would say it's more so about that.
I get it. Yeah. It's so important to be able to talk and to not shut off to
Hmm.
yeah, I agree. So we come into you. We're like, we've decided, it's time. We need some help. Is it
Hmm.
something that or people are coming like maybe because they have no other place to go, meaning that they're on their last their last dregs, or is this something they're doing like a preventative, like a preemptive thing, or like preventative maintenance type of aspect? They're trying to get ahead of the game. Is that, do you have a lot of those people as well? I mean, that sounds pretty proactive and progressive. I can't imagine being too common, but maybe it is. Maybe it just, I'm just kind of curious, what kind of people are usually coming to you? Do you see them at the very end, like they're like last ditch effort, or are they coming before they know something's about to
That's
happen?
a
Or
great question.
Yeah, it is. I think it's becoming more common now for couples to want to do preventative maintenance, but a lot of couples who come in, this is kind of their last ditch effort, their final last resort. It can feel, shameful or embarrassing or, vulnerable to say that, to feel like you're saying there's something wrong with us, we couldn't do it on our own,
uh,
we love each other. Why can't we figure this out? And that's not really what, you know, couples therapy is about. Is not about fixing people or changing them, or we're not refereeing, we're not saying who's always right and who's always wrong. And again, it is becoming a little more common for people to do preventative maintenance, and us couples therapists recommend that to everybody. Just, if we're going with the car metaphor, get under the hood, see what's going on. Just like, people go to the dentist, the doctor on a regular basis, why not just get a little checkup? But I would say majority of clients, maybe a little bit like over half, come in when they feel like they have nothing else, like no other ideas.
I wonder if you would walk us through, I get well, and that's a little difficult because you're just getting to know us here. But maybe something very straightforward, simple that you might walk us through as an example.
Sure, as like a role play or just kind of explain the intervention.
I think maybe a role play. It's
Huh.
Yeah, we could try that. I
It
mean,
might actually help us, Annie.
Okay. Well, I will let you decide what the topic is, so we can do the Gottman Rappaport. So you can use a fake example for the sake of the podcast, or it's up to you guys if you want to pick a topic that is part of your life. But it's going to be something that, again, you kind of circled around in a conflict that hasn't really been able to be resolved.
okay, so we're getting this suggestion. I get a little annoyed because she's Tina's constantly kind of fixing me. She'll come over, she'll fix up my shirt or wipe things off, and I'm just like, I don't need another mother, and you need to stop doing that. And
Mhm.
so it seems to be a constant issue, and yeah, we haven't really approached it or worked through it, and I think she's wrong.
Well,
Okay,
But I'm at the
interesting.
table. I'm at the table. I'm at
copy that.
the table. I'm ready to discuss this. Maybe she's not wrong. Maybe I just need to. Yeah, she's not.
So I'm gonna explain the intervention quickly before we just jump into it, because there are quite a few steps on either side. So you guys are gonna take turns being the speaker and the listener. It's important for anybody at any time using this intervention, to really make sure you're grounded and in a state of calm and ready to listen and be present to your partner's experience. So you're each going to take turns being the speaker and the listener. The job of the speaker is pretty straightforward, pretty simple. You're just going to state your feelings on the issue. Don't blame, don't criticize, no use statements. So focus on I statements and how the experience makes you feel. We really want to focus on the internal experience, not, the semantics of this is how it was said, or I didn't say this, I said it this way. What is your internal experience? How does it make you feel? Now, the listener's job, even though I think listener makes it sound a little more passive, you're doing much more work as the listener. So the first thing you're going to do is postpone your own agenda. So you will get a chance to be the speaker. So just know that you can put yourself on the side. You're going to get your turn eventually, but you really want to attune and be present to what your partner is saying. How do they feel? What is this bringing up for them? Any new insights you have? Something that can be really helpful for the listener is to have a pen and a notepad so that you can take notes and focus on what they're saying and not have this internal pressure. Amazing. Have this internal pressure to remember everything they're saying and, oh, I have to respond to that point and that point and that point. So just taking notes so that you can really be present. And the only time that the listener is going to do any interrupting or pausing of the speaker is if you need them to slow down so you can finish writing. You can say, "Can you pause for me? I just want to make sure I get this down." So the speaker is going to do their speaking. And then the listener, if you have any clarifying questions, go ahead and ask. And this is kind of long, so as we're going through, I'll walk you through it. But you're going to ask any clarifying questions you have, and then you're going to summarize back what you heard your partner say. So that can start off with what I heard you say was X, Y, and Z, or if I'm understanding you correctly, you feel X, Y, and Z about ABC. Then you're going to ask, did I get that right? Am I understanding? Once the listener has summarized the speaker's point to the speaker's satisfaction, the listener is then, this is the final step, going to offer some validation, empathy, communicate some level of understanding. So that can sound like it makes sense to me that you would feel that way, or I learned something new about how it makes you feel, anything along those lines, so that you're sharing, again, some validation, understanding, empathy, anything along those lines, and then you're going to switch. If we have time, we can go through each of you taking a turn, but we can see how we do going this way. And like I said, it's a lot of steps, so I'll walk you both through it.
I think you should speak first.
Well, okay. I don't think there's gonna
Okay.
be much to speak about. I mean, so it's all about saying I, not you. It's like basically this is I.
Right. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think sometimes people, when we say use I statements, don't talk about the other person, it can feel a little complicated because you're talking about something between the two of you, right? But there's a difference between you are attacking me and when you raise your voice, I feel attacked. So you can talk about what someone's doing, but how it makes you feel. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to,
Okay.
how I feel about, and that. So is it something that I'm addressing, talking to her directly, or kind of just
Yep. Yeah. You guys are going to talk to each other.
when I feel that when my shirt and my clothing and whatnot is being adjusted, that I'm being um, treated like a child. And I don't like feeling like a child because I'm not a child. Yeah, I guess I'm having a little, I never really thought about it, how to basically describe how I feel about it. I just know
Hmm.
I don't prefer it and I'd rather not have this kind of mothery aspect to it. And I just,
Mhm.
yeah,
Let me just help you out a
please.
little bit, nudge along. So when you have the sensation of being feeling like a child, being made to feel like a child, what are some of the emotions that brings up under that?
Like I'm not responsible or I don't present myself well or that I'm not regarded as an equal partner. That's kind of I think that kind of
What's it like when you feel those things?
I feel less. I feel
Mm.
less. I feel minimized. I feel disregarded, and yeah, it doesn't make me feel good.
Is there anything else about, the experience of, the fixing, the hair, the shirt that you think she might not understand about the way it impacts you?
Well, I don't think she understood that that's how I felt about it.
Hmm.
But I don't, and I think if she knew that, probably I don't think she would do it as much, to be honest with you.
Okay. Is there a reason that it felt hard to tell her before now?
You know what? I think it was just because we needed an example, I'll be honest with you. And this is
Okay.
came up. It's never
Yeah.
been a huge issue with me, but now that we're
Okay.
talking about it, it seems to be bigger than it was.
Mhm. Well, okay, this is a good example to work through, and we can dive in a little bit more. Okay, so now you're gonna say, if you have any clarifying questions, you can go ahead and ask. If not, you can summarize what you heard him say.
So I heard you say that you feel disregarded, less than, like a child,
Hmm.
not respected when I fix your shirt or do something external or like fix your hair.
You heard, yes, that's what I said. And
Okay.
now, yeah, I confirm what you're saying.
So you feel like she got it right
I
to
think
your satisfaction.
I believe so. Yeah, that's what I
Okay.
said.
I
Okay.
did not.
And
Oh, sorry. Oh, no,
no,
I
no, no,
did
go
not.
ahead.
I did not appreciate that it made you feel. not my equal. But that was a little bit enlightening for me.
Yeah, good. And now just that last step, you're gonna offer a validation and some form of empathy. I understand how you feel that way, something along those lines, which you're already headed towards.
I almost feel like there's an apology here. That
I mean, acknowledgement. I don't know.
Um, if it doesn't have to be an apology, or there doesn't necessarily have to be a behavior change or a promise of I'll never do it again, but kind of similar to what you were saying of it doesn't make me feel good to know that I was making you feel that way. It can be something a little more to his experience of I now that you're saying that it makes sense that you would feel that way. I can see why this upset you.
I did not realize it made you feel that way, and I realize that I do that probably more than I should. And I will now take into consideration your feelings
Thank you.
before I think about doing it.
Before you think about doing it. I'm going to think about
There
you.
you go.
I'm going to think about how you feel before I do it again. Yeah. No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Do you guys want to take turns switching roles, or I don't know how we're doing on time?
I think we can.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yes.
We can
Yeah.
do it again. Yeah.
Okay.
You have
Um,
something that I do?
Okay. Well, let's keep it about the same topic because we want to understand both people's perspective on one issue at a time.
about I guess I'm confused. Do I
Yeah,
talk
no,
about,
no, no problem. Yeah, this intervention is really helpful, but it does take a while to like kind of get into the rhythm and understand the like pieces of it. So even like this is a good example. Sometimes your partner might bring something to you and you had no idea it was even bothering them. So I would say kind of as to give you a little bit of a runway, something along the lines of when I brush something off your shirt or fix your hair, these are the reasons that I'm doing it. Along those lines, I'll let you kind of take it from there.
when I go to adjust something on your hair or fix your hair or fix your shirt, or I always want you to present or I always want you to be presented in the best way possible that I know you can be and are, but I didn't realize that it wasn't something you liked.
What does presentation mean to you? Why is it important?
Uh, for me, presentation is important because I always expect to come across as professional and mature, and I would want the same for you.
Right? We're listening, we're postcards
I'm listening.
that.
Listening, yes.
Um,
Okay.
I want you to always look your best and be presented in the best way possible.
Okay, so this is where I say what I'm hearing, essentially. Are you
Well, are you done with anything else you would want to say?
No, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay.
so
Um, Good. Yep.
I guess so what I'm hearing is that you feel that I don't present myself, or I'm not being presented in a very professional or a way that's not up to your standard, as have you set for yourself that I'm presenting myself in less of a standard, and you wish that I would present myself more? Am I saying that wrong? Does that sound about right?
I don't know if I want you to be presented more. I just want you to be presented well.
So I guess what I'm hearing, what I heard is I'm not presenting myself well. So that's what I heard. I'm not presenting myself
I,
well.
can I jump in?
Yes,
Please,
please.
please, we insist.
Yeah, no, no problem. So no worries. So yeah, this is what is really helpful doing this with, professional or really practicing, being calm, grounded and listening. Because I didn't hear her say you're not presenting yourself well. I heard more of, when there's, the hair is messed up a little bit, or there's a crumb or a crease or a fold or something like that, that she wants to help you be presented as professionally and, put together as possible because when she is, that makes her feel good and she just wants you to, look your best and feel your best. I didn't hear, as a broad statement that you do not present yourself well. And I think that's where maybe a little bit of
Yeah.
the hurt part of, being fixed and feeling, touched and modified might have been like kind of building over time and it's going through that lens. Does that sound
That,
about right?
that's scary. Yeah, I think
Well, yeah, no, because it
that's
actually
about right.
touches
Yeah,
upon something that
Okay.
I think that's about. Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
is an issue with us that you think.
You're right. It's been building up over time, and I've kind of established this premise that's probably not doesn't exist, at least not in her head. But I've already
Mhm.
been going through it so much and getting upset, and so now I've established my reasons that I think she's doing this, but it's really not why. So that's it. Yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a very interesting exercise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so why don't you try one more time and summarize now that we're understanding a little clearer, what are you understanding of her point of view?
What I'm hearing and understanding is that you just want me to be presented well, but you're not, it's not that I'm not presented well. It's just, if there's a little something here, you just want it corrected. If there's a little crumb there that maybe I don't know about, you're just going to get rid of it. Or my hair, maybe I can't see my hair all the time. So maybe it's a little out of place. And you're just like, okay. And it's coming from more of a place of love and care than just like annoyance. That's what I'm hearing.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying. This is your
There's
listening phase.
Good. And then the last step is offering some validation of, makes sense to me you feel that way, or, I can see why this has come up, something along those lines.
I hear you. I see where you're coming from. Um, and I appreciate the effort. I'd still rather not have you do that if we could avoid it, but I can appreciate where you're coming from and I know it's not from where I thought it was. So thank you.
Mhm. Well, really good job. I think it's a little weird. It's a little uncomfortable, right? It's a heavily structured way to communicate, which when you've been together for over 2 decades, yeah, wipe the sweat. When you've been together for over 2 decades, it can feel a little bit counterintuitive to need to like fragment the communication this much. This is just really slowing, like taking one topic in one conversation and really, really, really slowing down. So it can feel a little clunky and weird the first few times you do it, but once you get the rhythm of it, it just kind of becomes a natural part of your conflict communication. And if couples need to move into some sort of problem solving conversation after this, then you're coming into it from a much different place. And a lot of the times, once, a couple goes through this exercise successfully, and there is a much deeper, more empathetic understanding, the solution will kind of present itself.
Yeah, this was a very interesting exercise, and I think we're gonna even take a lot from this just one
Oh,
example.
good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Feels
I
pretty
find
funny.
this to be one of the most helpful tools, kind of across the board, regardless of the, nature of the issue.
Yeah.
So I have one, I'm sorry, I have one quick one. So obviously, with doing this with you in person is wonderful. Is there something people could do at home by them with themselves is like I don't know like a Gottman light method or something or if there's some way to do this without maybe the oversight.
This tool specifically, I know if you just type in Gottman Rappaport intervention or Gottman conflict blueprint, I know the steps that we, print out or send a PDF of to clients will pop up. So if you want to, or anybody would like to try this exercise specifically on their own, you can pull it up and just have the steps in front of you, so you don't have to have someone intervening as much. I think, as you guys kind of saw, it can help to have a third party there to clarify or give some correction or encouragement.
Oh, hi, hi, hi.
We reached the end of our limit or something like that, I guess.
Okay,
We're
Tina?
working on it.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. It was
Okay.
such a good answer.
No, no worries.
But thank you again for your time, and this has been such an enlightening interview with you. But if folks wanted to get in touch with you, how would they go about in doing so?
They can find me on LinkedIn or on Psychology Today. There's an email link on the Psychology Today page as well as a phone number. And right now that's it. So LinkedIn or Psychology Today.
All right. We'll make sure we got that down
Yeah.
in the remarks. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And we hope to do this maybe in a part
Thank you
2.
so much.
we'll come
Yeah,
in professionally.
absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye, you too.
Bye. That was interesting.
Yeah.
That was just about my shirt.
Well, it goes to show you, even couples like us, 24 years in, can still learn a little bit about communication.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's the whole point of this, right?
Yeah, and maybe acknowledging some of the bad habits we have in terms of communicating.
Well, Annie was very informative, and I'm actually pleasant. I was expecting some good stuff, but that was kind of, you surprised me more.
Yeah.
More open to this kind of stuff now.
Yeah.
Not that it was closed off before, but interesting.
We can still learn something new.
Well, yeah, as Socrates said, we're always learning.
We're always learning.
Something like
Well, we appreciate you joining us on this episode of the Gottman Method.
that.
And
His and hers. This
on-
episode of His and Hers.
on his, yes. I was
Talking
gonna get that.
about the God.
You're not listening. Hence, we need
Sorry.
more of it. So, subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you again at our next episode.
Bachelor
Cheers.
Syrah. Yes, thank you. Salute. No, come here. Thank you.
I thought you were going to spit
I
it
love you,
out.
honey. No, if I can spit it out.